today, kind of carrying on from the last time, I've stopped me the 5 day fast thing, and so now I'm just back on the slow carb type of food again, which is not that drastically different from what I was doing before. And it's kind of I feel really good, and I felt really good all the way through the fast. It's really good to do. And the kind of interesting thing is, like this morning, so I had breakfast at 7 o'clock and I had my usual 30 and 30, which is like 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of getting up, which is basically a tin of sardines with some pinto beans and 200 millilitres of egg whites, and that all adds up to about 30 grams of protein. And as I was eating it, it was kind of, I don't know if you've seen Transformers the movie, like the animated cartoon that came out in probably I think the late 80s, maybe early 90s, and like Unicron eats one of the moons of Cybertron, and you see like he fills up with energy, he goes, oh, it feels great. And that's just what I felt like this morning after I'd while I was eating my breakfast, which obviously I know that the nutrients from the breakfast weren't actually getting into my bloodstream or anything, but it just felt like that psychologically. It was like, wow, it just felt really good. And now I think I have got the nutrients going through me, and I do feel kind of, it's interesting. So it's one of those things that I definitely recommend, but not just, apart from like the physical benefits and like the I used to do this once every month, and I did it basically to like as an easy way to like really keep my weight under control. Whereas now I don't like doing the slow carb thing. It just takes all the thinking out of it. It's I don't have any trouble at all with it. I've been doing the slow carb thing since about just after Christmas and like that. I mean, weight's just been like total plateau, which is good. I've been like knocking around 70 kilos. Like after the 5 day of this fasting, I'm down to like 68 and a half kilos, something like that. And I don't really imagine that I'll be sticking around it for that long. But maybe I will, I don't know. I'll let you know. But apart from that, the thing that I find more important about these things is just the psychological boost that you get by setting a goal. I've done this loads of times, so it's not like I'm thinking, oh, am I going to be able to achieve this? Is it? I know I'm going to be able to do it. But to be honest, like the first time I did it, I wasn't all that sure. Like I wasn't very experienced, at fasting and stuff. So it was like kind of what's going to happen? What will it feel like? Will I not be able to hack it? And as I was talking about last time, of course if you were forced to not eat for 5 days, it's not like it started there. You just wouldn't, unless you're like someone who's like very old, frail, sick, whatever. But someone who's knocking around, 12 to 15% fat, there's no problem. So, but yeah, the psychological boost is really good. Look, I've only been doing the thing for 5 days, and I've already forgotten how to cook me lunch. I haven't put me fat in, have I? I think I'll do coconut oil today, just for a change. I should really eat more coconut oil because I used to eat loads of it, and then I just stopped. Just want to have some coconut oil instead of butter. Good for your brain. Don't want to end up all Joe Biden for not eating enough coconuts. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was going to talk about. So, the idea of setting setting goals and achieving things. It's like there's one of the like one of the hermetic principles is like the law of polarity. Like it's kind of like everything's got a pole, everything's got a kind of opposite and stuff, and it talks about like the sort of how things, well, there's like a false duality, but there's a duality to it. So it's like the way hot and cold, but they're not. They're just poles of the same thing. If you think about it, cold is just the absence of heat type of thing. And like, it talks about, if you wanna achieve something, you shouldn't concentrate on, eliminating the thing that you don't want to have. You should concentrate on achieving the opposite. So for instance, dark, if you don't want to be dark, you don't think about eliminating the dark, you think about turning the lights on or something. Or like fear, you don't like concentrate on I won't be afraid, no, you concentrate on being brave and like doing things that empower you to stop feeling afraid. And this is kind of like the whole like fasting thing. Like, so the idea is, so why do I fast? Obviously the health benefits, that's why I want to do it. So like I'm thinking about, I'm concerned about my long-term health and like how I age, healthily. And the way to achieve that isn't just thinking about, oh well, I'll save up so I've got like a great, a stair lift that'll take me up, and all things like that. You need to be thinking about stuff, to proactively, be well and stay well for when you're getting old. And so that's why I do things like fasting, because I don't want to be, I'm interested in like the health benefits, which are obviously, autophagy and stuff like that, but I'm also interested in the psychological benefits of it. And that's kind of, I think you need to prepare yourself psychologically for aging also. And so, the book that Dr. Lungo did, I've just taken it downstairs to my bookshop. It's been sitting there all week, and it's the whole point of it is just like how to, he called it the longevity diet, and the reason is because he was investigating why people in certain parts of the world live much longer than others, and like it's basically all down to diet. There's no great big mystery here. So, but yeah, so the psychological aspect of it is, what can I do to sort of set myself goals that I'll be able to achieve? I mean, there's no point in me building a lifestyle around ultra marathon running or something and thinking that I'm going to be able to keep that going when I'm old. It's not going to happen. And even things like jiu-jitsu, I can see like a definite time limit on how long I'm going to go to do that, because I mean I'm 48 now, and I've already got I've had a couple of injuries doing jiu-jitsu which are a bit of pain, but this shoulder thing, I mean I'm quite confident that I'll get over it completely, but it's kind of taking me out. And I haven't been able to do jiu-jitsu since May, and now the way it's going, I'm not going to be able to, realistically, it won't be until I come back off from mini holidays that I'll be able to do it. So I'm looking at September before I'll get back from the dojo. So, it's kind of annoying. But the whole fasting thing and like the whole idea of this law of polarity, is I'm looking for something that will help me achieve. So what's mine? I don't want to be decrepit. I don't want to be a sick old man. And I'm not focusing on the negative of that. I'm not like, I'm obsessing, I don't want to get old. I don't mind getting old. I have no problem with that at all. I don't want to be, scrunched up old man or anything. And, I don't want to not be able to do things. But getting old is fine. I just don't have any problem with it. I'm not even particularly bothered about getting wrinkly and stuff, I can feel it in my face and stuff, but, it's just nice to have got there, you know what I mean? So, I don't have a problem with it. But, at the same time, I'm not concentrating on how bad it's going to be. What I'm thinking about is, what can I do proactively to not just make it so that I'm healthy when I'm old. It's I need to improve my health now, and every little step that I can do to get there, then it's good. It's just a total win-win. And I'm also much more interested in trying to achieve this through healthy food and stuff like that, rather than I do think supplements obviously have a role in health, and staying healthy and stuff, but I don't think that we should just be looking for our health from a bottle. You know what I mean? I think we really do need to think about what we're eating, and eat as much as we can. I try and eat as much organic food as I can, because pesticides, they're just not good for you. It's not some kind of woo-woo to say that pesticides aren't good for you. Of course they're not good for you. How could they possibly be good for you? They're there to kill animals. So it's not it's not crazy to think that they're not the best thing to actually just put in your system. And these things build up over the years. They just do. So yeah, it's kind of interesting, because I've known about the hermetic principles, the 7 and all that. I'm not going to talk about them now, but it's just a lot of these concepts are totally dismissed as kind of what do you think you are, some kind of wizard? And it's it's not that, but there's lots of ancient knowledge that used to just be, not exactly common sense, but at least widely appreciated. And I think that there's a tendency in our culture to obsess about the bad and just complain about it. It's conspiracy theorists and truthers and all this, and it's just all you hear is just how the Illuminati shape-shifting lizards are just controlling everything, and there's just no point. You just can't do anything. It's well, if there are Illuminati shape-shifting lizards controlling everything, then surely they'd want us to just give up. Resistance is useless, as the Bogan said. No matter what you think, no matter how you think this world is going, whether you're living your bliss, or you just think it's all terrible, you still owe it to yourself to do the best job that you can. And the whole personal responsibility thing, whether you choose to accept the responsibility or not, it is all down to you in the end. There's not really, you're the one who's responsible for what you're sticking in your mouth anyway. And given that a lot of health, really, if I think about my genetics, not that I've had any kind of genetic test or anything, but my dad was a sick man. He's got autoimmune stuff going on, and so it's kind of reasonable for me to think that, you know, if I live his lifestyle, then it's likely that, you know, if I go down the same path, I'll get to the same destination basically. And that's why I actually do live radically different to, you know, my dad did at my age. And although something interesting happened to my granddad, but my dad's dad, but I never really got to talk to him, which I'm kind of, you know, I mean, he died when I was like about 16 or 17, and I never really got to talk to him properly about stuff, but he became a vegan, like in his 60s or something. And I'd love to know what happened, because he was kind of like, you know, apparently he radically changed and he half became a recluse and all stuff like this. Like, you know, he became a vegan and totally gave up wine and, you know, stopped drinking. And I'd love to know why he went down that path. But like, he died in his 90s, in his early 90s. Well, I think it was 94 or something. And but he was starting to get like dementia, and I'm wondering if that was because he was such a radical vegan that he wasn't eating, you know, enough fats for his, you know, to maintain his, you know, his brain and stuff. Because there's a lot of research to do with, like coconut oil, which is probably why I started to think about this. You know, coconut oil and brain health. There's a really good, eating coconut oil is really good for your brain. And so, you know, I wonder if that's what, you know, because there's no way that he would have been eating coconut oil like in the 90s, living in, you know, rural Spain. So anyway, but yeah, you know, so my granddad, like physically speaking, was really healthy. You know, he used to walk for hours every day, and, you know, and he'd read a lot and stuff, and, you know, it just makes me think that it's not, you know, so my dad's obviously got the same or similar genetics as his dad, and I have of my dad. But it seems like there are paths that you can go down that like lead you to certain things, you know. So, you know, that's my main reason for like eating the way I do, because I think it's important for your health. I mean, I think that's more important. And also, I don't want to have to tick the box, you know, like when you're getting asked questions, you know, of like, what medications are you on? I don't want to be on medications ever. You know, I find it difficult even to take, you know, paracetamol and ibuprofen, especially like ibuprofen, because that really hurts my stomach. I don't have to take many of them before I'm like, ugh. And, you know, at the moment with my shoulder being sore, it probably would have been a good idea for me to be taking some anti-inflammatories, but I can't face the effects on my body of taking ibuprofen. It's just not worth it. I'd rather have a sore shoulder. Anyway, so yeah, that's just basically where I am at the moment. So the you know, setting yourself goals, like, so this, like, 5-day fast is, I mean, a fast mimicking diet, it's not even fasting properly. It's just, and it's totally reset my attitude to food and hunger again. And that's why I love doing it, because it's just like I was saying, the psychological benefits, not just of like setting a goal and achieving it, but just how you think about food. So now I'm kind of, you know, I started cooking and I wasn't like, oh, I've got to get me fat in, oh, I've got to do this. It's just, I'm just thinking, ooh, you know, food. I'm not weighing the food. Not weighing the food's a great. I hate weighing food. So it's like I could never do a diet for very long where I had to weigh what I'm eating. Even though I've got that spreadsheet all set up, which is kind of convenient, but I just, you know, it doesn't feel right. It's not like our ancestors, you know, were going around and weighing things like, oh, I won't. I mean, I know why they didn't overeat, because there probably wasn't that much food around anyway. So it kind of makes sense that we don't really know how much we eat, because overeating never used to be a problem anyway. Well, anyway, so this is pretty much ready, and that's me. So I don't foresee me doing a video until next week now, and have a nice weekend and stuff. Wow, my mouth is totally watering looking at this. And after doing 5 days of only 800 calories, looking at this is like wow. Whoa. So have a good weekend, have a good day. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.